Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. My 2023 NFL tier ranking list. Last year I did the list of the top 32 quarterbacks. It wasn't a tier ranking, but I'm gonna start doing tier rankings more often, like yearly like that. So doing based off of quarterback. I might do one off of receivers as well, but I think it's a little different for receivers. But I'm just gonna do quarterbacks probably most likely. But last year I did one, it was cool and stuff. And now we back here again this year, full circle. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 sections. One section is rookies. Another section is is basically the section of me saying I'm not really too high upon the person. Not to say that the person or the quarterback is not like, solid or good or like anything like that, but I'm just not too high upon them. So that's the section. I got the solid section where like the guys they're not fully consistent throughout the entire season, but they are like kind of like half and half. They give you some good, they give you some bad, but they're like, no, they're all right. They're all right guys. Like, if I had to start them, I will be okay in starting them. And they have breakout potential. Breakout potential are guys I feel like either they're on their maybe their second year about to break out, or their third year or fourth year about to break out, and they got the potential to maybe jump from being just a all right guy or from being to being like just like an elite level guy or something like that, making a big time jump or a big time fall like that. So I think I got a kind of breakout potential a little bit. And then the next one I have is good like that. Those basically good quarterbacks, guys who are majority of the time is good like that. And then I have almost elite. As guys who are almost at the elite level from my eye test and from my looking at their numbers and stuff like that. They're almost at the elite level, but it's some question marks too that still be answered. And then I have the elite level guys, the guys who I have no question marks about. I know they're bona fide, they're the guys. Like they're like, if you had them on your team, you can definitely win the Super Bowl, even if everything around them is not great. So we're gonna start off with the rookies from the bottom. And in order, I got Bryce Young first. I know people had that video going around of Bryce Young saying, "Oh, he's small. He's like a midget out there in front of everybody. He's like a little kid out there playing and stuff." It's a reason in the NFL. It's a reason he was the first pick for a reason. We've seen what he did in college, dominating and going out there and playing at a high level and playing high level football throughout his college career. And now he's on the Panthers. Got a nice coach in Frank Wright, who's a good offensive minded coach who brought the best out of Carson Wentz that one year. The Colts years didn't really go as planned because Andrew Luck retired and all the stuff that happened and all the noise that was happening too with the team and stuff. But I feel like Frank Wright with Bryce Young is going to be a nice start, fresh start for both of those guys, and it's going to work out well. Next you have CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, I know in college they had the question about his athleticism. Is he gonna be athletic? Can he be mobile? Can he go out there and make plays with his legs? And we kind of seen that a little bit, and people didn't really know if he could actually move like that, but he showed them they can move a little bit, and his touch of the ball is amazing like that. He has a quick release, a nice throwing motion. Touching the ball is amazing, like I mentioned before in previous videos. It reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but I'm just saying it reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, his throwing motion style. And I think he's going to be a nice addition. I said addiction. A nice addition to the Texans. AR, we got Anthony Richardson, who I picked last time. I think the video I did of the ranking the top quarterbacks in the draft. I say Anthony Richardson is my favorite quarterback in the draft because he has the potential. It kind of like make a break. He had the potential to either be this great player because he's 6'4", 230, 40 pounds, have a strong arm, has a build like Josh Allen or Cam Newton, and he can go out there and have all the talent like that. The mobility is crazy, but you're gonna need somebody to mold him, and they got Jalen Hurts, the coach that mold Jalen Hurts to being the guy too. They got him there like that helping him. So maybe that guy will be ready. Maybe Anthony Richardson will be ready around maybe, I don't know about the first year. Maybe he might play a little bit in the first year and then maybe wait to the second year to like fully give him the keys to the car and let him drive like by himself. But I think Anthony Richardson has potential to be big time. And he also has potential to not be big time too. It's kind of like in between. It's kind of like a high risk like that. But I feel like the way the way he speaks, the way he talks, and his mentality, I want to get better and better and stuff like that. I feel like he's going to emerge as that top guy. Next, I have Will Levis. Will Levis is a typical pocket passer quarterback, strong arm, like that, good pocket awareness. Not too mobile, but I think he maybe have a little bit. I don't know if he kind of like Mac Jones a little bit. Mac Jones not too mobile, but if it's like it's 3rd and 5 and he see an open lane, he can get the 5 yards like that. I think so. Get the 5 yards. Will Levis kind of like that type of athletic ability. I think Will Levis fit the Titans perfectly because their run scheme and being able to run the football first and then using that to set up their pass game and the play action and stuff like that. We've seen a lot of teams able to do that with pocket passing quarterbacks. You see, the days of Peyton Manning and stuff like that. When you have a guy who's a strong arm to stretch the field, can open some stuff up for the team in the backfield. And I mean, the secondary and stuff like that, open some things up, especially if you have like some good receivers. Tight end receivers and not really all class. I know the rookie they had last year, I believe his name was Burden, something like that. Burks or Burden, I might be saying it wrong. He had some plays here and there, but he was like a lot of injuries and stuff. So, and Robert Woods was there as well. Maybe we'll see some more from them when they stay healthy and stuff like that. But I feel like it's a nice fit for him. Malik Willis, it was a wrong fit for him. I was kind of surprised when Titans drafted him because they kind of like the opposite. I feel like Malik Willis would be better in a scheme like the 49ers or the Eagles. Teams like that, the Ravens, those teams like that have that West Coast style a little bit, but also a heavy power running style. You know how the Ravens got the power running style where they have a lot of like the RPOs and RPR options and stuff, and the Eagles have the RPO options for Jalen Hurts and stuff, and it just feels like it's fast paced. I feel like that worked well for Malik Willis, especially with his strong arm and his mobility too, and his shiftiness and his quickness and stuff. I feel like that'll work well with him in a scheme like that. So maybe he could probably get traded, most likely. It might just take a 5th round pick or something to get him off. But I think the perfect fit for him will be Seattle. Pete Carroll is an amazing coach. He can bring out the best in some players. Geno Smith, he signed a 4-year deal with the Seahawks, so he probably be the quarterback for the next 3-4 years right there. And if he sit behind Geno Smith and learn as much as he can like that, and maybe they can build him to being the next quarterback for the future, like 4 years down the line, 3 or 4 years down the line, I think that'd be a nice situation for him. So we'll see what happens. But the last person on this list I got is Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, I like Hendon Hooker a lot too from Tennessee. The reason he probably didn't get drafted higher because the injury that he had like that, but I feel like he can be a nice addition. I keep saying addiction. I'm saying that for like that. I know I was listening to the what's the name song. I don't know if you guys listen to Kai's and get the addicted song like that. He said, I've been addicted. Like they talking about different things, like people addicted to social media and all types of stuff like that. But I don't know why I keep missing the addition up with addiction. But Hendon Hooker was nice from Tennessee. I thought the Titans were actually going to draft him at first because the Tennessee connection, but he didn't get drafted there. But I think he'd probably be good for the Lions like that. Can go crazy with the Lions. Washington maybe could have taken a chance on him and drafted him. I did that on Madden. I drafted him on Madden 23. I was doing like a little NFL draft, like kind of like seeing what happened. I picked the Commanders as my team, and I drafted Hendon Hooker in the 2nd round, and I won a Super Bowl. It took 4 years, but I ain't saying it gonna happen because in the real world, you're not controlling them like that. You got to go out there and do some stuff like that. But Hendon Hooker, I feel like he'd be a nice addition to the Washington football team. But they already have Sam Howell. And Sam Howell's not on this list because I haven't seen Sam Howell play. Like, I haven't watched any footage of Sam Howell. Most all the quarterbacks on this list, I've seen them play. I have not seen Sam Howell play. I don't know if he played before or not. I forgot about him actually until I started doing this video. I was like, oh yeah, Sam Howell, because I know the quarterback for the Washington, I know Jacoby Brissett is there, so I thought Jacoby Brissett maybe be the starter, but Sam Howell maybe the starter. I have no idea, but I haven't seen him play, so he's not on the list. But that's all I got for the rookies tier. Moving on next to the tier, I got Baker, and I got Ryan Tannehill with quotations around him, because I got him in 2 different tiers, and then I have Davis Mills. Baker Mayfield is a guy. The list is players I'm not too high upon. I'm not saying that they're like bad or anything or terrible. They just like, I'm not too high upon them, and I don't think he can win with these guys like fully. And Ryan Tannehill, I know he had opportunities when he was the first seed with the Titans and multiple times and stuff, but I feel like Ryan Tannehill already reached his ceiling and is limited. We seen that one year when the Titans was the first seed and they played against the Bengals. They should have won that game. Ryan Tannehill had some terrible turnovers. At that, and that last turnover, that interception that he threw, it was 3 Bengals on him, and he threw the ball to the receiver. 3 guys in the area. What you think gonna happen? He was the guy like had a nice angle to catch the ball. Like the ball tipped up in the air, he got picked off and stuff. He just played bad and terrible that game. And I didn't like the mentality he had either as a leader of the team. Malik Willis got drafted. He was like, I'm not gonna come and help him. I'm not gonna help Malik Willis. Hopefully he helped Will Levis at that, but I like that mentality he had, like not helping the young guys behind you. We all on the same team. I know he's behind me. I know he's supposed to be potentially be my replacement. I am in my 30s. If I was Ryan Tannehill, I'd be like, I'm in my 30s, so I know he's my replacement maybe for the future. I'm gonna make sure he's prepared as much as me, because if I go down, I want to make sure he's prepared because he's still my team. I want to see us all win and succeed like that. I don't care how we do it, but not everybody had the same mentality. So Ryan Tannehill, I never was too high up on Ryan Tannehill like that. And Davis Mills, another guy too. I was a little high up on Davis Mills early on his rookie year, and second year a little bit, but then I kind of fell off that bandwagon because it's just too inconsistent. Like Baker Mayfield, Ryan Tannehill and Davis Mills, I got that in like similarity. They go on a streaky run sometimes, like a little bit, and then you see them just collapse. Titans last year was what 7-2. At one point in the season, I believe it was 7-2 or 7-3, and they just lost the rest of their games. They lost like what was it, like six straight games or 7 straight games like that, and they missed the playoffs like that. And they was like top 3. They was third seed in the conference, and they was top of the division, and they lost all those games in a row. And Ryan Tannehill just played awful those games, and he got injured. And then Malik Willis came out there, and then they just threw him out there, and the O-line was already banged up, and then no receivers out there because receivers were banged up, and they just threw the rookie out there against I think it was the play against the Chiefs, right? Against the Chiefs or somebody. They threw him out there, and he was like, it's not going to happen. And then the magical moment ain't going to happen. But these guys are here in the list because I just not too high upon them, and I feel like they're not winning formula for a team. That's in my opinion. Maybe for you guys, you might think otherwise, but it's me. There's a reason Levi's got drafted. There's a reason Baker Mayfield's not on the team he got drafted from as the first pick, and it's the reason Davis Mills getting replaced by C.J. Stroud. Yeah. My solid tier list: Mac Jones, Jacoby Brissett, Ryan Tannehill, and Taylor Heinicke. I got Ryan Tannehill on both lists and both tiers because he can be solid at times like that, but I feel like sometimes it's just too like it's just like It's how you see more bad, especially the recent years we see more bad. I'm doing this based off of like coming into this season. Mac Jones, I feel like he's a solid quarterback. I feel like he has potential to be good too if they give the right system around him. They might have him top of the list. I feel like Mac Jones has the ability to like emerge as that guy, emerge as a top tier, top level guy. If I don't know about elite level, but like good level guy, like to be able to help you get to the playoffs and win some playoff games, maybe a Super Bowl if everything around him was right. But I think Mac Jones just needs offensive coordinator, needs some more weapons, and especially receiver wise like that, because the Patriots don't really go out there and get like bona fide receivers. They get Jacoby Myers was nice, but they let him go. They let Jacoby Myers go to the Raiders, and the Raiders pay him $40 million, and you pay Juju Smith-Schuster $40 million. I think Jacoby Myers got a little bit more splash in him than Juju Smith-Schuster, so you could have really kept Jacoby Myers, but they let him go. And it's kind of funny that Jacoby Myers is on the Raiders. That's the same team through a little behind the back lateral pass to. And now he's playing for them, so it's kind of funny with that. But I think Mac Jones could be good if they built the right team around him, or maybe if he goes to a different team. Jacoby Brissett, he's a guy. I think he's in the right spot right here, being solid. If you start him for 6 games, you'll probably win 3. You'll lose 3. Sometimes you might win 4 sometimes, but you might lose 4. But he's like a guy who's gonna give you half and half. Gonna give you half good, half bad, and he's a solid quarterback. I feel like he's a guy who you like can have around. You can feel confident starting like that. I thought he had a lot more potential too as well. I think some of his stuff got kind of like stopped from the injuries that happened and stuff too when he was on the Colts and stuff. But Jacoby Brissett is a solid player. Ryan Tannehill, already mentioned, talked about him. Taylor Heinicke is on this solid list too as well. I feel like Taylor Heinicke, he's playing to his potential. He maxed out his potential. He's playing to that level. And one thing I love about Taylor Heinicke is he's gonna give you 110% every single game. Like, he might not be the most talented, the most accurate passer, the strongest arm, the fastest, the biggest, but he's gonna give you 110% every game. And he's a dog out there. He just plays with a lot of heart, tenacity. Ever since he hit that when he was with the Panthers, he got cut. The Panthers went to, I think he was in the XFL or the USFL. He was in one of those leagues, came back with the Washington. Remember he started in the playoff games, the Bucks. They lost by 7 on about a touchdown like that. Remember he had that big time touchdown. He dislocated his shoulder, scoring a touchdown as well, to his shoulder, diving in the end zone and making big time plays. Taylor Heinicke just has that dog mentality. He's gonna give you everything. And he's on the Falcons now. I know Desmond Ridder is there, so I think Taylor Heinicke, I don't know if he's gonna be a starter, and they might let Desmond Ridder eventually take over or Desmond Ridder be the starter. Taylor Heinicke to be behind him, but Taylor Heinicke is a dog. He's gonna play with a lot of heart. He reached out his potential. I don't think he'll ever be a good quarterback or elite level quarterback in this league. But I feel like he's a solid guy, a guy you can rely on to help you win some games and to help you. If the Washington team would have kept him in as a starter instead of Carson Wentz, they probably made the playoffs, really, because they benched him for no reason. Like, he's on the hot street, and really those losses that happened wasn't his fault. Like, the defense blowing lead, the defense like messing stuff up after they have a good drive to get the lead, or it's just like some bad things happening like that. But all those games he played pretty well, and then so I don't know why they benched him. And then Carson Wentz came in there and stunk up the field. But moving on to the next tier, it's called Breakout Potential. I have Brock Purdy, I have Daniel Jones, Kenny Smith. I said Kenny Smith. I'm thinking of basketball. Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, and Jordan Love, and Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder, I'm gonna start from him like that. What I seen for him with the Falcons last year, I feel like he has the potential to break out and to be a good quarterback. I know some people wasn't really high upon him at first. I did a video on him before last year during the draft. I was like, should the Steelers draft Desmond Ridder? Should they draft this guy? Because the top guys on my list was Kenny, Malik, and Desmond Ridder. I feel like those guys have potential to be pretty good in the league like that. I'm not saying elite, but I think there can be good guys in the league like that, especially the right team, the right system. I think Ridder is on the right team, the right system, the run scheme, and his ability to be mobile as well. And we see him throw the ball pretty well too as well. I think like in one game through 230 yards and a couple touchdowns, and another game around the same range and stuff, showing very consistent and all that stuff like that at the end of the season for the Falcons. I feel like Desmond Ridder could break out. Jordan Love as well. I know I feel like with the right team and the way the team is all around him and the confidence his players and his teammates have instilled into him, they're like, hey, we ride with him when Jordan Love is ready. We've been seeing him in practice. We've been seeing him get ready and pumped up, and his ability to throw the football, the nice accuracy, the nice touch on the ball. I think Jordan Love is going to be nice. Justin Fields got more weapons too as well. DJ Moore is here now. You got Chase Claypool. He didn't do too much last year, but maybe he start merging more once he under the team scheme and stuff. And then the defense got a little better, so maybe Justin Fields make that leap too. And then I got Kenny Pickett on this list because he got a new O-line. You also got a new weapon in Darnell Washington. You got Allen Robinson as your third guy at that. I think George Pickens is going to make the big jump. I think Richard Johnson going to still be solid and consistently solid like that and pretty good, like around that 900 to 1,000 range and making those big-time plays for you too. And then I think Pat Freiermuth is going to be a big-time tight end. Last year he had, 700-plus yards. The year before that he had about 507 or 8 touchdowns. I think this year he's going to have double-digit touchdowns. And the team just on a rise like that. So I think Kenny Pickett going to make that big jump as well. Daniel Jones, too. Daniel Jones, last year was probably his best year. I don't know, threw 16 touchdowns. We only threw 6 interceptions, but he made big-time plays with his legs, and he also got them to the playoffs, and he played well in the playoffs. In that first game, second game against the Eagles, they were just outmatched. The Eagles just too good for them and just blew them out the water. But Daniel Jones has potential maybe this year to break out. Maybe we see 24 touchdown passes to just 7 interceptions, something like that, and maybe 4,000 passing yards. I don't know, but maybe. Brock Purdy, I have him in 2 different tiers. I have him in breakout potential, and I have him in good tier as well. I think Brock Purdy is, I think he's good. He's good, but you still want to see another year of it like that. See another year because I know you're playing the 49ers. 49ers team, everything around the 49ers team is perfect. Yeah, all the depth in the world on offense, on defense, everything is perfect around them. But of course, still you give credit to the quarterback as well because you go out there and make the plays, make the decisions, and make the right plays and stuff. And he went out there and played and balled out. So Brock Purdy got to the NFC Championship game. Shoulder got knocked out. Maybe that never happened. You never know what could have happened. I think the Eagles probably still won, but you never know what could have happened. But Brock Purdy, I got him as the breakup potential too. If he is a starter, Trey Lance, I ain't got him on this list because I don't know if Trey Lance is going to be the starter or not. Because the way they was talking, like they was trading Trey Lance at one point, and then Brock Purdy was going to just doing a roll with Brock Purdy. But now I don't know exactly what's happening. So we're gonna see. In my good tier, I got Aaron Rodgers. I got Tua. Tua was very good before the injuries happened. He was playing at a high level. Just if he could stay healthy, the Dolphins will win, and they will be a team to compete and maybe compete for Super Bowl as well because they had a nice roster and they was playing very good before Tua went down like that. But Jimmy Garoppolo, I got him on this list, on third on the list. You might say, Jimmy Garoppolo and good? Yes. Every time Jimmy Garoppolo is on the field, he wins. And you might say, well, he's not putting up the major numbers like the 30-plus touchdowns in the season or all these crazy numbers and crazy passing stats. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not an All-Pro. He might not be any of that. But every time he's on the field, he wins. The number one thing in his sport is to what? Win. Not the stat pad. I don't care. I don't care if he threw for 5 yards as long as we win the game. Because I think Jimmy Garoppolo had a game where he threw for like 10 yards before in the NFC Championship game, and they won. But Jimmy Garoppolo, every time he's out on the field, they win. When the 49ers lost Trey Lance and Trey Lance went down with an injury, who gave him that spark and gave him to a big lead like before Jimmy Garoppolo had the injuries as well? Jimmy Garoppolo did. He went out there and helped them win a lot of games, and they won, making clutch play after clutch play. Because every time the big moments came, he was never afraid of the big moments. He made clutch play after clutch play. That playoff run they had a few years ago, you might look at the numbers and say Jimmy Garoppolo's playing awful, but it's always in the game that he make one big time play, one big time throw that gets them over like that. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo's a good quarterback. Is a good player, and he might not be like elite level or be like worldly level. There might be some guys he's in front of who are more talented, but since Jimmy Garoppolo has shown me that he can win, I got him on this. Jared Goff, I got him next. He's been playing very good for the past few years. I got Geno Smith on this list of good tier QBs. I got Deshaun Watson. I know he didn't look too good last year, but he did miss 2 years. I think he's gonna get back to that level this year. I got Matthew Stafford after him. Hopefully stay healthy. Dak Prescott after him. Dak Prescott got to stop turning the ball over and he'd be good. Derek Carr, I like him too as well. Kyler Murray is injured. I put him on his list though still because I couldn't leave him off like that. But I don't know if he's gonna be like he probably could be back, but I don't think I'm gonna just sit him out the whole entire year, or he can come back maybe later in the half. But we'll see. Kirk Cousins on this list as well. I got Brock Purdy on this list on both lists, and then I got Russell Wilson last. I know he's on the decline a little bit, but I still feel like he's a good quarterback. Maybe that was just a one bad downside year. Maybe we'll see him get back to not being like the high level he once was, but at least being a guy who you can win games with. Now next we got the and I had Trevor Lawrence. I had Trevor Lawrence first. I missed Trevor Lawrence's name. I had Trevor Lawrence first on the list as well. I had Trevor Lawrence has emerged as big time. He's a good quarterback. I thought that first year was just too much noise. Urban Meyer doing crazy things and had the whole organization dysfunctional. And out there kicking kickers and he's doing some crazy stuff in the club and flying and leaving the team, not flying on with the team, and not like just being a good leader and being a good coach for the team. Trevor Lawrence got a good coach this time, and what happened? He shined, went out there, won a playoff game in his second year, and had some big time numbers and big time stats. I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. The almost elite tier, I have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Herbert. You might be saying, Josh Allen, I'll put him at the elite tier. See, the reason I moved Josh Allen out of the elite tier is because I kind of have him in limbo a little bit. It's the turnovers and the big moments. I feel like in the playoffs, I feel like regular season, Josh Allen is amazing. He's an amazing player and stuff like that. But we do see in the big moments sometimes he turned the ball over. The Vikings game, they really could have won that game if he didn't force that ball. Turn the ball over. We've seen him in the Dolphins game. Skylar Thompson was the quarterback for the Dolphins, the third-string quarterback who was picked, the quarterback picked before Brock Purdy was picked. And he played a solid game like that. Receivers dropped some passes. They helped him out a little bit. Maybe the Dolphins could have won that one, but that game should never been that close. Josh Allen turned the ball over a lot in that game. And then we seen the following week against the Bengals, what happened? He turned the ball over a lot too, trying to play too much hero ball and trying to extend the plays too much. I think sometimes it can be his downfall. Sometimes he just need to rely on some of his teammates a little bit more, lean on them a little bit more, and go out there and make plays and stuff. Of course, they have Miller injured and some other guys missing and injured, but I think Josh Allen just got to stop playing hero ball all the time and just knowing when in the right moments to force things and when not to. That's why I got him on this almost elite list, because I was like, can you win the big games and the big moments? That's the question mark around him. So I can't put him in elite tier, because that elite tier I said no question marks. Lamar Jackson. Look at Lamar Jackson. He's a former MVP, amazing player, and his question mark is similar thing to Josh Allen. Can he win in the big moments, and can he stay healthy? That's two things right there for him like that. I feel like everything else, Lamar Jackson, his ability to make plays, ability to do all the godly stuff that he do on the field is amazing. But can he stay healthy? He didn't play the full season almost 2-3 years. And can he win the big moments? That's the question for Lamar. Because remember he won the Titans game, but then what happened the following week against the Bills? He got injured. So we never could find out if he could win the big games and the big moments because he got injured. He got to stay healthy. That's the real question for him. Can he stay healthy? Well, we don't know if he can win the big moments because he's not healthy. And later in the season to win the big moments. So hopefully he stay healthy, and we'll see. Jalen Hurts is on his list too. Jalen Hurts is amazing. He played big time. He looked like we always seen these flashes from Jalen Hurts. We've seen his first year. It was flashes and stuff like that. I think last year and then the year after that, he was a good player. He got into the playoffs as well. They lost to the Bucks. They had all the talent in the world. But then this year they gave him A.J. Brown, and we've seen him jump up and take a big jump like that and become a great QB. That's why I got him in the tier a little above good. You might say, well, Jalen Hurts can be in that because he haven't did it back-to-back. But you have to look at, he got his team to the playoffs twice, including the Super Bowl. I think he was an MVP candidate. Probably would have been MVP if he never got injured as well, maybe. But Mahomes had some crazy numbers, so he probably wouldn't have. But Jalen Hurts, I feel like if he can replicate this next year, he's gonna be elite like that. Because that's the question I got around him. Because he could have really won. They could have won a Super Bowl. It's not like he played terrible in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts played amazing in the Super Bowl. He played big time in the Super Bowl. It's just we got the ball last. She's got the ball last, and we've seen Bradbury make the bad mistake of holding Juju, and it is what it is. Justin Herbert's on this list too. You look at his numbers, and you watch him. You're like, that man's almost a perfect quarterback. The passing ability, everything he has like that. I can put him in a good QB tier list. I feel like he's above some of these quarterbacks in the other tier. But I feel like Justin Herbert, the question mark around him is the big moments. Can he win the big moments? We've seen the Chargers. I bet on the Chargers. Chargers was up 27-0. I was doing a little bit. I was doing a bet with my friend Larry, who be on the channel here and there. I think in the comment section. I think he's All the Truth Sports Debate. We said that little joint channel. But I was like, I'm picking the Chargers to win. He picked the Jaguars. But I said the Chargers gonna win this. So I said they should win this by a good margin. It was up 27-0. I was like, okay, there you go. I fell asleep a little bit. I was watching the game. I thought the game was over. It was at nighttime. I fell asleep a little bit. I was dozing off on the couch. I woke up and I seen that the Jaguars tied the game. I'm like, what's going on? Tied the game up. And I was like, oh look, let me get up. Let me get up. Like, I'm woke now. And then I saw, and then I'm like, then they lost the game in the end. I was like, what is happening? How you blow a lead like that? Only the Chargers are built like that to blow a lead of that magnitude in the playoffs like that. Justin Herbert is a big, is a big factor in that too, because you could have still kept scoring and stuff like that. They couldn't get anything done, but it's always the big moments. Can the Chargers win the big moments? We've seen that game against the Raiders when they're supposed to get winning to get the playoffs. Justin Herbert's been playing amazing, play well and stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough. That's the only question about him. Can they win in the big moments? Everything looked amazing. The numbers and the eye test like that. It's just like in the clutch situations, they always fall on their face. And Justin Herbert is, since he's the quarterback, taking most of that blame like that. So we're going to see if they can do it. Now, my elite tier. The elite tier is two guys up here. You probably already know who it is because I haven't mentioned their names yet. Two guys I have no question marks about. I feel like they are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL today. And if you have them on your team, everything around you cannot be perfect and they'll win. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Was the year before last? No, not the year before last. In the Super Bowl last year, let's say. Super Bowl last year. Could have won. Came down to the last play like that. Had opportunities like that. They had to lead in the Super Bowl like that. Fell a little short. But they could have won that Super Bowl. And then the following year, we was like, oh, can you do it again? Yes. AFC Championship appearance. They fell short. Mahomes got the ball last and won by field goal. So, like, when you lose a game like that, I can't say, like, oh, they didn't win the big moment because Joe Burrow did everything he could in that game. You look at his numbers, those big-time throws he made like that. And on fourth down and the big-time plays he made those big-time plays. I feel like Joe Burrow, you can put him anywhere. Everything has to be perfect around him, and he can go out there and win. Patrick Mahomes, ever since he went to that second Super Bowl and played against the Bucs, I had him as the best quarterback in the league ever since then. In 5 years, Mahomes been in the league for 6 years. He played one game his first year against the Broncos, had a rushing touchdown and won the game and stuff like that. But in 5 years of starting, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time MVP, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. If Mahomes was to retire, and I think the Hall of Fame should be measured by what you did in that period of time. It shouldn't be like, oh, did he play 12 years? No. But in 6 years, he was an All-Pro 4 times, and he was a Super Bowl champion 3 times. And that 6 years, he dominated the league and changed the league, so he got to be in the Hall of Fame. And Mahomes was to retire like today, which is not gonna happen. But he was retired today, and take his sample size of his 5 years what he done, he'd be a Hall of Famer. And you might say, that's kind of crazy. You look at his numbers, put him against a lot of guys, and the accomplishments, 5 Pro Bowls, MVPs. There's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame who don't have an MVP. He got 2 of them, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. My favorite quarterback is Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben never won MVP, never was the All-Pro, and never won Super Bowl MVP either. And Patrick Mahomes got all that. I'm not saying that he's better than Big Ben like that, but if he keep playing like this, he's gonna be way ahead of Big Ben. He's gonna be the best quarterback ever. Patrick Mahomes. I know, you look at the longevity stats by saying, well, they got this yard, this amount of stuff like that. Mahomes can never win another one again like that, but the numbers he put up in his 5-year span has been godly, has been super elite-like. And it's even outclipped Brady numbers a little bit in the 5-year span. Brady has some great numbers. I believe he's the greatest quarterback ever. But Mahomes can keep this pace up and maybe I don't think anybody gonna win 7 Super Bowls, but if he can add maybe 3 more, win 5 Super Bowls, and maybe 4 or 5, maybe 3 more or 4 more MVPs, had the most MVPs, he's gonna be the greatest ever. That's my tier list right there. My tier list right there for you guys. That's a long video. It's 29 minutes. My NFL tier list. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, who you would change, or who you would move around. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.